Hello and welcome. Please tell me you said the sync.
What?
You did?
Who?
You,
What?
You synced?
Yeah.
Did you sync?
Yeah.
Okay. Sorry for yelling. Hello and welcome to the Black Mind Podcast. My name is Jeff. Joining me this week is Josh.
Huh? What?
He's very sad.
Right.
Don't be a pretentious cocknob today.
Yeah, well, you can. Also joining me this week is Allan.
Sup? I had my wisdom teeth removed. Oh, that was a fun experience. Oh
Man, I'm both happy and you got that over with. At the same time, I'm never gonna go through that ever because I'm one of those weird people that never has those wisdom teeth. Like it'll just never come.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, if you get it done and get it over with real quick. Well, then again, I also went off and got mine done when I got knocked unconscious to do it.
Seems like the best way to do it.
And apparently I had 4 full conversations that I don't remember.
Yep.
And then we got home. My mom gave me my pills, and she's trying to give me I'm trying to reach up with the pills in my hand, and I'm trying to feel where my lip is. And my mom's like, "Yeah, you were touching your lip the whole time, and you never figured it out." I'm like, "Yeah, because I couldn't feel it." And finally, I finally got lucid to a point where I was like, "Hey, I just think I'm starting to become lucid," which I wasn't actually. But the thing is I was just sitting there texting Christina, and I'm like, "Hey, Chris," and I sent a picture of what I looked like after just a mission successful. I got the teeth removed. She's like, "Awesome." I'm like, "How are?" And it's I'm starting to become lucid. It's like, "You should probably rest." I'm like, "Nah, I just texted you to say hi." She's like, "Oh, hi." I'm like, "Hi. How are you today?" And I was just, oh.
You were out of it.
I was fucking high. I've never been that high in my life. I don't think I came out of my full stupor until noon yesterday. And even then, I'm not 100% sure.
Yeah.
So, are we talking to high Allan right now, or are you sober Allan?
No. You're fine.
Because it'd be so funny if this is high Allan.
No, God, I don't think this would be very funny for you guys because I could easily get I was hopped up on T3's the knockout stuff and all that stuff, and it was just oh my God. Oh. And I've it hit me hard. I went into the surgery, and they're trying to put the needle into my hand. They screwed that up. It's causing me a bit of pain, and I'm like, please just put it in my arm. They put it in my arm, and within 30 seconds, they're like, yeah, we're about to put the thing in this. I had already passed out because I was tired from work that day, so I just fell asleep on the thing, and they put in the anesthetic, and then they looked over me. He's like, wow, he was out. Apparently, I was out. I'm like, I'm still awake. I'm just really tired. And then I woke up. And I'm looking around where the fuck am I? Who am I? What's going on? I strongly recommend the strong stuff.
I thought we were going to talk about the Trump blimp, but I'm glad we're not.
in all honesty, if we're gonna talk about that real quick, they had the legal right to do it because they got permission from the city.
Yep.
That's just a really dumb thing to do because, hey, surprise, you should probably, not undermine your country's fucking greatest business partner. Also, Brexit might not be happening now, which is actually kind of frustrating.
Yeah.
I'm actually like really, really worried.
It's
England might straight up become a colony of the EU, and I'm like, I don't know how I feel about this.
it's just gonna end bad.
Mm-hmm. I want them to hit that button so hard and just fucking bail the fuck out because the EU is this authoritarian state that doesn't deserve to exist.
Well, the EU, the normal intention of the EU was a very good idea.
No, it wasn't.
Well, the normal intention of the EU was basically an economic bloc.
The single market. That was the entire point of the thing.
Yeah.
However, for you to create that, you need to have a single state, which means you have to have a governing body to decide the rules, which is why it's an authoritarian state.
Oh yeah. Why now it's an authoritarian?
No, it's been authoritarian since the start. It's progressively gotten worse and worse.
Yeah.
And here's the thing: I actually found out the EU was founded on my birthday in the same year as I was born. I'm like, I feel like a terrible, terrible person now for being born.
So
that day.
what you're saying is it's your fault.
Evidently so, yeah. Like, I have no problem with the idea of an open market or a one market system, but there's Italy, Greece, Spain, all these southern European countries are getting fucked over by the EU. Brussels and Germany pretty much run the EU, and now England's about to become the colony of the fucking EU, and it's actually like, oh guys, please just.
I don't think they are.
Yeah, they are. They're on their way to be entering into the Schlenden zone without any rights to say anything to the EU. They have to follow all the same laws, all that stuff that the EU has, and they have no say in it. How is that not being a colony?
Okay, yeah, that's totally being a colony. Yeah, okay, good point. I don't know. It wasn't surprising to me when they left, and I wasn't very surprised when people were complaining and stuff like that. Anyways.
Yeah.
So life is hard. You know what also is hard in life?
Mm-hmm.
You could say it's just as hard as Dark Souls.
Well, Dark Souls is...
I mean, the most blanketed review thing you put on anything is just like Dark Souls.
It's like Dark Souls, but... And then the but is where the actual journalism happens.
Yeah.
But it's like you said, like Dark Souls, but...
Yeah.
That's the one thing that makes me worried is whenever I hear it's like Dark Souls. That's the thing that makes me go.
It's called lazy reporting. It's a very innovative concept. I don't know if many people have heard of it before, but lazy reporting is a issue that harms all journalists of all stages in fright. If you know a journalist who is suffering from lazy reporting, please give them a dosage of firing.
No,
you
give them the dosage
24 hours a day in advance. Do not take Lumines 24 hours in advance.
Actually, I recommend the Dr. Josh method of the fuck are you writing that for? No, seriously, why the fuck are you writing that? No, you can write better because you're a fucking writer. Fucking write better. What? You can't? You're fired. That's my PhD in solving that situation.
Yeah.
Actually, I'm actually a little bit worried about something.
Yeah.
Because I want to go back to school, and I'm really worried about going back to school. Yeah, I want to go study psychology, sociology, or not sociology, philosophy, history and like creative writing and stuff like that because that's what I really want to do if I ever go back to school. But at the same time, I'm like really worried about jumping back into that because if I'm gonna do that stuff, that's gonna be at fucking McEwen, and I'm like, oh boy.
Well, I was gonna say, if you do, there's always that joke I keep seeing everywhere of you get all of these majors, and then you end up being the barista at the fucking, you know, either Tim Hortons or the Second Cup or the freaking Starbucks.
Well, no, I've got the skills to go back to doing my other job.
Yeah. Yeah. Anyways, like, so Dark Souls. You played Dark Souls and you hated yourself.
A little bit. Actually, some primer before we get into Dark Souls. I was hanging out with over at the buddy's place of mine, Leslie's, and he, like, you know, I hang out at his place every other so often, like after work. And he's like, we watch some videos, just hang out. And he's like, hey, why don't we just boot up Dark Souls and fuck with it? And I was like, okay. So he booted up Dark Souls 1 because I told him, like, yeah, I just never played. I just never had the, like, because I heard how hard it is, I was like, okay, I'm just not going to touch it because I heard it's just dumb. So he's like, oh, you just play through the first one. It'd be great. So start playing the first one. Got all the way to the first boss you have to fight, and man, I can't remember if now I'm like thinking back. I'm like, did I get to the first boss or did we like not actively get to the first boss? But I'm just now remembering, like, oh, because I watched so many other people do their Let's Plays on the game and I've seen so many videos on it, is like I kind of get the idea what to do, but I don't have the idea of what you should do in any given situation. So it's like, oh, I remember this from this Let's Play. I should kind of try to do this, I think, and then just fall on my face hard before that ever happens. Or get into the middle of the situation, and then for some odd reason, the triggers that's supposed to happen in that area didn't happen. And then my friend goes, what the fuck, what the fuck, what the fuck? And I'm like, what? Am I dying? What? And he's like, no, something's supposed to happen. It's not happening. And I'm like, is that good?
Which game are you? Which version of the game are you playing? The remastered?
You know what? I'm gonna assume so because he just booted up in front of me, and I was like, I guess it's the remastered. I just didn't really see the title. Yeah. Apparently, I just have like a weird horseshoe because it seems like whenever there's a trigger that's meant to happen, like multiple enemies just come in and kill you or whatever. That just doesn't seem to happen. Or as often as opposed to. So, like, I just run into a room and kind of look around and go, oh, this room is nice. And he goes, why the fuck are they not killing you? And I'm like, there's people in here? Like, there's everywhere. How are they not killing you? I'm like, okay then.
Josh is just good. He gets good at games.
I don't know if I'm good or just have that weird, like, oh, I just stop at that right moment and so the trigger doesn't happen and it's just no one looks at me. It's just so weird. Yeah. So it's like I played through all the Dark Souls 1, I played through Tutorial Island, and then I got off the Tutorial Island, and then I proceeded to kill the guy that everyone knows that he's bad, so you kill him first. And then I went up where the sewer, go through the sewers to get to the next area. And God. Yeah, so you see that
Blight Town.
Yeah. You go through Blight Town. And I remember going through that, and I was like, oh, this is kind of fun. And, I could see the bullshit ahead of me, so I could be like, look at these dumb fucks. They're not even hiding properly. I could be like, they're just straight up going to jump me. And I can't do anything about it. So I was like, well, all right, I'll just try to kill them fast. And I got to the point where I was going to go to do the first boss in Dark Souls 1, but then I was like, hey, why don't we turn on the multiplayer aspect of the game, which is, see other players and get invaded and stuff like that. I'm like, oh, that'll be cool. So I popped a soul or whatever. And then, I popped a soul, and so I can get that number up. And then it turns out oh, the hacking is horrible. I died within the first pop.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, what the hell happened? He's like, that was a hacker. And then when I got resurrected again, I was fucking turned into a mutant blob that it couldn't do shit. And my health was down to half. And I was like,
Mm-hmm.
wow. Like, okay.
Wow.
Yeah, wow. So
Wow.
so after that happened, I was like, well, I guess we're not going back to this game.
Dark Souls 3 does it a lot better.
Oh yeah, like
Wow.
I think there's a lot of better protections in that one. But like yeah, like then like the next couple days afterward, we start playing Dark Souls 3, and man, I think it feels like one of those, because the Japanese when they make a series of games, they progressively get harder and harder and harder. But let's say you're like, oh, I'm new to the series, I'll just play the last one. You should probably go back to playing the first one and try to go up in levels, because frick, the third one I felt was so much harder. So much harder.
I just don't want to shock.
It is actually really tough, but for me, when I played Dark Souls 1 all the way through with Roy, and we started a second game, and then we decided to boot up number 3. And number 3 for me is now my favorite game out of all of them. I've straight up told Roy, I like the mechanics. I like how the system works. I actually enjoy this story more than the first one. He's like, no, that's fair. He is a very diehard Dark Souls 1 fan, and I can understand it. We have yet to play Dark Souls 2, and I'm dreading it because I know they changed certain mechanics in the game that I liked in Dark Souls 3 and 1. And one of them was like just straight up like was actually like straight up a mechanic related to fall damage, and it's actually like really bad in Dark Souls 2, and that's why I'm like, I'm not sure how I feel about this.
Oh, you can't just fall indefinitely.
Well, no, like in Dark Souls 1, it had like a certain height point. You'd fall and then you'd take damage. In Dark Souls 2, they changed it a fair bit more so that you fall a shorter distance, but you take more damage. Like the fall mechanics aren't like what you think they would be for it, and it's like actually kind of frustrating. You're like, I don't know how to feel about this.
You just look at it and go, can I make this 20-foot jump? Maybe.
Can I have sex with it?
Can I just, jump off this 10-foot leap? Maybe. You know what? This ledge seems perfectly fine. I'm just gonna. Oh nope! I'm slipping on. Dead.
I'm dead.
Yep.
Oh, I'm dead. I fell down and hurt myself.
Oh, and Roy actually found out about my acute fear of heights during playing Dark Souls 1 and Dark Souls 3. I have an acute fear of heights.
Really?
It's really actually more like a strong like respect for heights, and that's even what my dad's like. No, it's a strong respect for heights. But like I got to a point where we entered Blighttown, and all I did was look down for a second, and I said, Rory. And he's like, yeah, we're going slow. And he's like, this is the area you want to go fast through. I'm like, no, Rory, this is an area we're going to go slow through. And he's like, why? It's like, yeah, I don't do well with heights. And he's like, oh. I'm like, yeah.
All I'm hearing is that Allan was being a baby.
Yeah, I'm allowed to be a baby when it's something I'm not comfortable with. Fuck off. It's not like you don't end up having that problem from time to time too.
No, I just have the problem of being able to perform all the time at any given moment.
Why do I not believe that?
Because it's totally true. Shut up.
I don't believe that at all.
Totally true. It's so true.
I was gonna say, if you played through Dark Souls 1, then get into that bridge part with the arrows getting shot at. Yeah, that must be like torture.
Oh, you mean Anne Orlando?
Yeah.
Oh God, I both loved and hated that area. I love the design of the area. I hate the archers.
Yeah, well, the archers is just a piss off, but at the same time, it's like that must have been like you're going on a little narrow beam, getting to a cathedral, and it's so high up. That must have triggered you to some degree.
Oh no! Here's the thing. At that point, I had actually gotten a hold of Iron Tarkus's armor, and I had built myself to be just like an immovable object by how I built my setup.
Okay.
So the archers would hit my shield, they knocked me back a bit, and I'd keep moving forward. I was like immobile to them. But the problem was actually where it came to the point of where there were 2 archers at one point, and that was the thing that got me for a while. Was just for some reason, just me going up that ledge. Rory ran past me at one point. He's like, "We gotta fucking go, dude!" And I'm just like he got up, he turned right, took the first hit from one of the archers. I started booking up. I'm like, "Okay, we got this, And then I just see Rory get knocked out. He's like, "Oh fuck!" And he just falls off the edge. I'm like, "Fuck!" I'm by myself. And then I just promptly got killed. And I'm just like, like no matter what, like it was like it's a stressful situation to go anywhere near Anne Orlando. Because you face a lot of problems. Another thing is the fact that Anne Orlando isn't actually in my opinion the worst area, because after you get past Anne Orlando, everything gets a lot easier from there, with the exception of what's it called? Sif's place. And that's because in Sif's place there's people can place curses on you, and it's actually like, oh my god, holy shit, it's actually like straight up hard.
Yeah, I'm thinking of what was it, Bloodborne, where there's like certain areas in that where it's just nothing but curses, and if they look at you long enough, you get a curse, and you just die.
Yeah, that was actually one of the big reasons why I was like, I don't think I want to play Bloodborne, because I've heard a lot of people say it's both good and bad, and I will say that, like, from the gameplay I've seen of Bloodborne, I don't think it's my style of gameplay. Like, a lot of people are like, well, it's basically like Dark Souls 3, and I'm like, yes, but there's a few things that are just like, I don't think that's a really smart way to do that one. And like I actually explained to like what I seen is like, for one big thing for me is the fact that when you watch people play Bloodborne, it's a lot of quick dashes in and then quick dashes out. There's no timing like there is in like Dark Souls 3 and Dark Souls 1. The heal mechanic is fucking god fast. Like, holy shit, that happens way faster than what like in Dark Souls it happens. Like Dark Souls 3, you can get interrupted mid heal and lose the heal, which is great. But I don't think in Bloodborne that you can really get that. Like, it's just like done. It's you hit the button, it's done, and it's like, wow.
Bloodborne, it's like you're injecting period blood into you.
Basically.
Yeah. Basically, that is lore. That is actual lore, I believe.
I don't think it's actual lore, but it's a good analogy.
I'm pretty sure it's...
No, it's not. It's not actually period blood.
I thought it was.
No.
Anyways, I'm looking at the monitor. I'm looking at the Jeff Monitor fund still because I'm stupid.
What's this?
The Jeff Monitor Fund.
Yeah, you know, that thing that's not on Kickstarter or anywhere else.
Yeah, you know, the thing that is illegal to put on Kickstarter? We can't put it on Kickstarter and make really stupid jokes about us making monitors?
No, us making shit video games.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't even know that was actually up there. Interesting. I actually don't know how to respond to that. I really don't.
Yeah, it's Jeff's Indiegogo.
Yeah. You can donate to it, and I draw a custom drawn penis. If you donate $1,000, I ship you the custom drawn penis. If you donate, well, actually no, not if you donate. It's a 3D modeled custom drawn penis.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's
It has bumps and stuff.
you
Jesus
do bumps
Christ.
and stuff, and also
I mean, it's like my favorite one is the nuke.
Oh.
That's the name of it. There are like 20. Speaking of nukes, I launched 28 nukes at one robot.
One?
Oh, really?
28 nukes. It needed those 28 nukes. and it was still walking afterwards. I've been playing Planetary Annihilation again.
Oh, have you? How has that been?
Good, because I'm a god, and apparently you can use
I like how
titans
you're
now.
like, I've been playing Planetary Annihilation, and I know exactly what that game's all about because I played the because technically Planetary Annihilation is the sequel to Supreme Commander.
Is it?
So I know what it's exactly like when you launch 29 nukes at something.
Is it really the Spirit of Mana?
Yeah, it is the spiritual successor to Supreme Commander.
Oh, I thought you were talking. Yeah, okay, yeah. Then yes, I would agree. The major thing with it is that like, here's the major problem with Planetary Annihilation is they've added giant robots now, like bigger robots than yours.
There's always been bigger giant robots in the both games.
Yeah, but there hasn't been titans.
Yes, there were. In the original
No.
Supreme Commander, yes, there were.
Not
They
in
were just called
Planetary Annihilation.
they were called experimental units. In Planetary Annihilation, they got the Titan expansion, and every faction's the same look. It has all the same looks. There's not unique units to each one.
Yeah.
And that's the thing that's the trade-off is Planetary Annihilation went with universal compared to unique, which is where Supreme Commander I think shines a bit better, where every faction has its own unique setup. Where like a good example is the Aeon Illuminate have like really good shield generators on all their vehicles. They're all most of their vehicles are hovercraft. They're like they have stealth technology and stuff like that. And then you go to the Cybertron, which have like pretty good mech, like actual walkers and stuff like that. They don't really care about like tanks, and like some of their like amphibious like actual like warships are like come to land, drop out like 6 legs, and crawl across the land. And it's just like, what do you do to stop that?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. The main problem I have with it is that like every single map I've been playing on recently, because it's just skirmishes and stuff like that, has been like, oh, here's one like little mission, and you're like, oh, okay, and then there's like, oh, and there's one planet, so it's like, but I want to shoot laser beams and murder everything and stuff like that. I think that like that's the major issue I have with it.
That's fair. The one thing I don't like actually about Planetary Annihilation is how it isn't how destructive it is. It's more of the situation that I don't like how the destruction is designed. Because in Supreme Commander versus Planetary Annihilation is a very, very macro style game.
Yeah.
Whereas Supreme Commander was a very micro intensive game.
Yeah.
And in Planetary Annihilation, if you're not building anything, if you're not actually like building stuff, you're not
doing enough.
You're not doing enough. And that's one of my big problems with the game is it's actually kind of like you can get away with in Supreme Commander, you still have that problem too. But the difference with Supreme Commander is you have the problem of if you're not building something, but you don't need to be building anything, you're not doing anything wrong. It's just you're just wasting time. And that's the difference, because Supreme Commander, like even the AIs will do periods where they're not building stuff, and it's actually pretty fucking funny when you see that happen. You're like, the AI isn't building anything. Oh.
Mm-hmm.
So, either they're building an experimental unit somewhere, or I have actually managed to stop them from building anything. And then you discover they're building an experimental unit, which is just taking up all the resources, and you're like, I should kill that now.
I just love the Titans and stuff like that, because it's like I haven't gotten a Titan yet, but it's like I kind of want one, because then I can just murder the fuck out of everything.
That's fair.
So, yeah. Like I just want Titans and stuff like that. And other news this week, other than Planetary Annihilation, the other thing I would say is that it's not as good as like other RTSs and stuff like that. Like it's no StarCraft.
Well, okay. That's not a fair analogy. That's the reason why I immediately went to Supreme Commander, because that's like a game that's fairly like it.
Yeah, but like,
Supreme, like that's comparing apples to oranges. They're two different things.
oh yeah, that's the thing. It's just that like I can like
And actually, for me, as much as I like StarCraft, I will freely say this now. I also fucking hate StarCraft because it's
everything-
such a boring game type now.
Yeah.
Like I'm used to playing my Dawns of War, my Supreme Commanders, my
Red alerts.
Hearts of Iron. Even Red Alert's getting even though I like Red Alert, it can actually be a bit more like strenuous on me because like it's not as fun as it used to be.
Yeah, I think I remember playing Red Alert 2, but all I ever did was like make the nuke, send out the nuke. You killed everything. Yay! That's all I ever did.
yeah.
I will say this though about planetary annihilation. It does look very pretty.
Mhm.
It looks gorgeous.
Yeah.
What's
It's
the name
beautiful.
of that space game that you pay like thousands and thousands of dollars for the
Star
spaceships?
Citizen.
Yeah, That's
That game is like so
a game
bad.
the game that is never gonna release.
No, it's gonna come out.
No, it's gonna come out, and people are gonna be very disappointed.
Again, I don't think it's actually ever gonna fucking release, and it's actually kind of fucking disturbing that people are still like funding that game.
It's so much money, like just so much.
yeah.
It's like you're banking this on a hard promise. And it's like there's no way in any right or any way that this thing or product is gonna live up to this thousands and thousands of dollars you're dumping into.
No, there is no way, but it's gonna come out and everyone's gonna be like, look, it's still good.
Look how great this game is, guys.
Look, it's
Actually,
still
one of the
good,
big
guys.
things for me is that I have a buddy who's like, well, Star Citizen can be good, and I'm like, the only way it can be good is if they come out and they release the game, and there's a bunch of ships they didn't announce in the Kickstarter, but because it's
Yeah.
taking so long to come out, like it's like what 6 years into production now compared to like Elite Dangerous, which is
Yeah.
I think onto its second expansion now. Like they're planning their next expansion. I'm going to actually go check that.
I actually
Elite
want to
Dangerous
play
is
Elite
legit.
Dangerous again. But I
Elite
haven't.
Dangerous is a fun game from what I've seen. I haven't actually been able to play it because like it's just like it looks fun, but at the same time I'm like not super worried about it because
Mhm. Like the
I
problem
have-
I have with Elite Dangerous is that like the problem I have with Elite Dangerous is just like it's like, oh, like I need the HOTAS system and stuff like it. Like it's my own head I get into with that stuff. Where it's like I need the HOTAS system in order to play Elite Dangerous properly, and then I need this system in order to do it properly, and then I need the eye tracking system in order to do it properly, and then I just boot up Rebel Galaxy and have the same amount of fun.
yeah. Well, the big thing for me is that
Mhm.
Elite Dangerous. I currently have the problem with it how it's designed. Is that the entire big problem for me with how it's set up is it's very like you'll notice that a lot of people tend to run pirate. It's actually kind of frustrating.
Yeah.
And I do not like the idea that that it's like everybody runs pirate in that game.
Mhm.
And that's what I've noticed is just from some people who play the game, they're like, yeah, you tend to just end up like watching people just pirate you from day one. And it's actually like from what people have said, it's actually like really fucking frustrating.
Mhm.
And personally, I don't blame people for not playing that game. It looks like it's a fun game. It really does.
It is. It is. It is a fun game. Speaking of which, I think I found our stupid podcast image.
Oh.
Did you?
Did you know?
Wait, hold on. I think you found one, but I also found another one. I just want to share it quickly because I think it's fucking adorable. It's super silly.
Oh, that's so cool. That's so cute.
It's so silly and adorable.
Hang on, I'll put up one that might work for.
Now
podcast
I
symbol.
expect Josh in order to make one because I'm mean.
Although I like the last third one that had in this Twitter post. It's I think it's a emu in sandals, which almost makes sense.
There you
I don't
go.
know why.
There you go, Jeff.
That's better.
Something both cute, disturbing, and adorable, all in the same package.
I wish people could see my face right now because it's just like, what the fuck? Like, that is me to a T. I'm like 90% of the time, like, burn the heretics. Today, I even had to scream it at the top of my lungs and pray to Lord Gavin. Sadly, it didn't work.
I just. You can see my face. It's just grinning and going, I love it. It's dumb.
It's great.
Perfect.
It works.
Throw it in. Throw it in the pile. Let's do this.
If I by the way, if I ever actually find out who the artist is that because I think I used to have it saved. I just don't remember who they are anymore.
Oh.
I would straight up just say like, no, this is the art that we used to link it to that person's profile so that we can get it. But like right now, the world. By the way, can I just say this about the world? The world is pretty fucked up right now.
Well, the world's always been fucked up.
Like, no, even more so than usual. Like a full-on, like, what the fuck thing happened to me yesterday where, like, somebody was, like, shitting on Total Biscuit from, like just recently.
Oh, you're talking about the Forbes article where, like, they decided to attack a dead man? Yeah, it sounds like a great time. Let me tell you about this human being. She was searching for attention, like, a week earlier.
Mm-hmm.
And, yeah, she chose to make fun of a dead man. If that's not a sign of a quality person, I don't know what is.
I don't know either.
I'm just like so like fed up with like these people who sit there and are like I don't understand why like people hate me and stuff like that. And it's like because you do shit like that. Like fuck you. Like fuck you. Like just no. That's not cool. It's not okay.
Like I know Total Biscuit went back on a lot of his morals towards the end. And
But like, here's the other thing: is like you think about Total Biscuit and stuff like that. He wanted journalists to be held to the same standard that he was being held to.
Yeah.
Well, it certainly doesn't look like they're ever going to be held to the same standard by their own fucking definition. It really doesn't seem like that. Like, it really doesn't seem like they're going to ever give. If it was their choice, there would be no standard that they would be held to. You could do whatever the fuck you want. As long as your morals sit there and say, yeah, this is okay. And maybe that's the problem here, is the fact that they don't have a moral, like, compass inside of them that tells them, like, this is wrong. Like, it's okay to criticize, like, people and stuff like that. But you don't criticize somebody who just died maybe a month or two earlier. And then you certainly don't sit there and paint him as, like, this grandiose mastermind behind Gamergate when he was never even remotely, like, that involved. Like, he did nothing wrong. The worst that he sat there and said was, he said, I wish these journalists were held to the same standard as I was.
Yeah.
And it says something when you go to an industry over in the tech industry, and lately they've been getting shit flung at them too. I'm not going to sit there and even touch that thing like with a 10-foot pole, because lately they've been accused of taking money from these companies, which some of them do.
Mm-hmm.
But like, you go to a Linus Tech Tips video, and there are videos of Linus Tech Tips actually sitting there and using a product, but he does a stupid fun video with it. And he says, this video is sponsored by Cooler Master. And then you go to a Gamers Nexus video, and he literally rips the case a new one because he says this is bad.
Yep.
Like, generally speaking, like, you go, like, I have no problem with the company sponsoring videos and stuff like that, but like, Gamers Nexus will accept sponsorships from cases they like.
Yep.
and stuff like that. Whereas like, and Linus will accept sponsorships and then basically do a fancy dancy ad for the case and stuff like that. There's nothing wrong with that. And Linus is generally a very good journalist and stuff like that. But like, he's not the best, and he's certainly, I think he knows for a fact that he's certainly not supposed to do that. He's certainly not doing the things that like these, he certainly did like, what am I trying to say here? Let me say this. He certainly didn't fuck somebody and then give them a positive review.
Mm-hmm.
And that is something I think that like is the real big issue with these people, is that they sit there and they're like, it's like the most recent Rants show, which you should watch. It's a better, it's a really good show and stuff like that. They have Louis Rossmann on there, and one of the major things that Rossmann always talks about is he says, you know, these tech reviewers, they don't understand that most people don't want a phone with large bezels. They don't care about bezel size. They don't care about screen size. They care about, does my phone work? Is my phone going to work in 6 months?
Yep.
And stuff like that. My big issue with Apple is the fact that they sit there and they're like, we have a notch and stuff like that. And it's like, I don't care. I don't give two shits. And then they sit there and they're like, well, we took out Touch ID. And then I'm like, oh, well, why do you? Okay, fine. Like, what the fuck? Like, I just hate these publications and stuff like that, because it seems like they're attention grabbing because they can.
Mm-hmm. Most of them are.
Oh yeah, and it seems like they're just like in it for the money instead of actually like if I could pay $20 fucking a month and get quality fucking reporting, I would.
Yep.
Hell, if I could spend $5 a month or do a yearly subscription, which is what I did with Giant Bomb before they went to total shit for some unbeknownst reason. I have no idea. It's almost like they hired somebody. Whatever. Like, I'm not going to make a comment there, but like it almost is like, it's almost as if like it's like, like millennials are completely like communists and stuff like that. They're so communist without actually fucking understanding that like I'm a millennial. I hate communism. I think communism's terrible. I like some socialist ideas, but
you like social programs.
I like social programs. I like being able to go to a hospital and having a doctor be able to sit there and say, yes, your arm is broken. Here, let's put you into a cast and call it a day. And waiting, yes, I might have to wait 6 hours in order to get my fucking arm fixed, but like my arm's fixed. I like having employee insurance. I like having a Canada pension plan. I don't like having people sit there and go like, well, we have to take away all of your money and then give it to these other people's. Like, I just don't like that.
I don't mind social programs. I don't, but I do have a problem with the idea of like some of them are social crutches now, and it's actually getting like really frustrating for me to watch.
It's funny because the Canada pension plan lately really got fucked by baby boomers.
Yep.
Like, and it's funny because like it's only gotten fucked by baby boomers. Like, it's actually a generally big issue now. Like the NDP here and stuff like that. They've been trying to amp social programs, providing more public funding options and stuff like that to companies, but they don't have a balanced budget. But yeah, like, I'm just going back to the topic. Yeah, fuck that woman.
Yep.
I don't give a shit what her fucking pronouns are, but fuck that lady. She's a fucking bitch. Like, she doesn't even remotely understand like why the fuck people are disagreeing with her, I'm pretty sure. Or she does, and then is saying they're going, oh boy, I'm getting harassed, oh my god, in which case she's a pathetic person. Like, I'm just done with people like that.
Yeah, same.
This is one of the reasons why I'm so fucking excited that weed is legal coming October, because I'm just going to be blitzed out my fucking mind.
You finally relax for once.
I'm finally like I'm gonna like during school and stuff like that. Somebody's gonna say something like there's a new chromosome that's been discovered. It's called the A chromosome, and you only discover it if you have like a freckle on your left nipple, when you turn 15. And this is scientific fact. And I just wrote my Tumblr blog, so this is scientific fact. No, that's not how science works. No, you're sexist and racist.
And then all you hear from your side is, keep talking.
Nope. All you hear is just me go. No, that's not sci-. And then I get called a racist, and I just go. Okay, yeah, you can keep going. And then my teacher just goes, "Did you just smoke? Did you just? Yep, I did." Oh, I'm so baked. Like that's all you're gonna hear is every single podcast is just Jeff's just gonna be high as a kite. It's gonna be great. Alan's gonna be upset. Like Alan's actually probably gonna be very upset at me, disappointed, yeah, or not give two shits. We don't know which.
Yep, pretty much.
Yep.
But yeah, like I'm like people like that. Like I just can't deal with those people. Like I'm getting frustrated with those people because it's like I try to have like I had actually a really reasonable conversation today about gender and stuff like that. The guy who I was discussing with it was wrong because gender is basically was for a long time considered the definition was considered another name for sex of you're either male or female, but now they've decided that it's an entire spectrum of fucking craziness.
It's
Instead of
no,
saying they're
it's-
saying gender identity. There's what it is.
like even that for me is actually frustrating. I hate like the idea of gender identity because it's such a dumb idea.
Well, it's just people wanting to like. This is something that I've just wanted to say for a while, and I'm sorry, Josh. Like we're going off of the deep end and stuff like that.
We'll be done in a second. I
Yeah.
think like
But like it's like I'm sorry, but you're not special. You're not. Nobody is special. You are born into this world. You are basically a sack of meat.
get used to it.
Like-
Sorry, Buttercup.
Like your entire purpose of life is to live and have fun and enjoy life and be conscientious of others and accepting of others and their beliefs.
Yep.
Whether or not you choose to do that is another thing. But your purpose of life is to have fun.
Is to experience life is I think the term.
Is
you're
to
looking
experience life. Like your job isn't to sit there and ruin it for everyone fucking else. So why the fuck these people think that, oh, like these people are having fun and saying things like doesn't really faze me. Although, this sits onto another topic and stuff like that I'll probably bring up later and stuff like that. And I'm probably gonna either applaud it and say like I think it's okay, but whatever. But like it's like you're not special. Like one of the shows I used to listen to when growing up and stuff like that was called the Video Game Show. And right
Yep.
around Call of Duty Modern Warfare 4 and people were losing their shit about the No Russian mission
Yep.
and stuff like that. And one of the guys just sits there and says, "You're not fucking special. Like, you're not special. Like, get over it. You're nothing." And I think that he really hit a point and stuff like that. Because like you're not. Like if you go out and like this is really kind of morbid for me to sit here and say that, but if like you died last night and stuff like that, yeah, it sucks, but come 100 years, nobody's gonna give two shits about your death.
Nope.
It's like come 100 years, nobody's really gonna care. Like,
Actually, a big thing for me is how some people have like Like a big problem for me currently is just how oh, what's the term I'm looking for? Fuck.
Fornicate.
No. Like we have to be so worried about like not
sense-
hurting someone's feelings because like
They're being fragile.
yeah.
Instead of like, and to some extent I understand that because like, so recently Rainbow Six recently said like you're not allowed to use homophobic slurs or racial slurs in our game. Okay, that's fine, but why didn't you just sit there and just say like a more better solution, in my personal opinion, is saying they're saying here's a toggle. If you flip the toggle, we're going to either remove those slurs from chats, or we're going to sit there and just say like, oh, like you don't get text chat anymore.
I have
This-
no problem with people using like the inappropriate
I
terms and
kind of
technology.
do.
I don't. You want to know why?
Well, because you're going to say it, and then I'm just going to go,
No.
okay, whatever.
Well, no. It's not that. It's actually for me with people saying like, well, the N word or saying like inappropriate words in chat and stuff like that. Who cares? It just means that out of everyone there, like you're gonna like the worst you're gonna see is like, oh look, I've got X number of people saying this in my chat. They're just trying to get in my head, which is actually what's going on.
Yeah. My major issue and stuff like that with it is that, like, and this is just my personal opinion and stuff like that, is that, like, you have to make a choice in order to engage in those systems and stuff like that. So in Counter-Strike, I don't fucking have text chat on or voice chat on because the last time I did, I had a little shithead who was probably 14 years old using words that were way too complex for him. And he clearly didn't understand them. And it was just like, when I was talking to him and I said, like, you know, have you ever heard of the golden rule? Well, it's the internet. It doesn't make a difference. No, it does. I said. It's like, well, like, you know, it's not fair for like my town to be burning right now because of some Black Lives Matter thugs. And I just sat there and I said, I understand where you're coming from. I said, but don't you think that by acting this way online, you're just creating more of those people? And that was the last time I had a voice chat in Counter-Strike because, quite frankly, I don't want to have to sit there and deal with that bullshit.
That's fair.
me. That's me being nice. Like, I can sit there and, like, there have been times where literally, like, somebody will just get on my nerves, and I just start blasting Eurobeats through the fucking chat because I don't care. I would rather not engage with those systems because it's like how when I played League, I would always mute the other enemy player team. And when they would smack talk me and sit there and be like, I bet this you sucks and stuff like that, I would just, as soon as I killed them, I would just write, this Darius is terrible. Or, it's amazing what you can do with a good build. Like, that was just the way I was.
Yep.
And I just, it's just annoying to me. Those people are just super annoying. So, like, I just don't deal with them anymore and stuff like that. Anyways. Josh, do you have a topic?
Which is fair. Like, again,
Yeah. This is going to be a show where, like, last week I wasn't really talking very much.
and this week you're just pretty much the only person chatting.
No, this week is going to be like, it's going to be 90% Jeff audio, and I'm going to be looking at the other two tracks and I'm be like, this is the Jeff rant episode. Fuck.
No, that's okay. Like,
Yeah. I don't know. I'm just like,
I always have a geek thing to talk about, but it's so geeky to the point of
No.
falling asleep.
go geeky. I'll browse my phone. If it's
Well,
that bad.
well, I got a Magic the Gathering deck I'm working on. It's gonna be fun because they're reprinting Magistrate Scepter, which I think I've said before in a previous podcasts. And all the Scepter does is that you put a charge counter on it, and if you have 3 charge counters, you can tap it, remove those 3 charge counters, and get an extra turn.
Yep.
And I've did some research into this card beforehand because I was actively making a charge counter deck in the first place, and I was going like, man, if I could somehow get this card in my modern deck, it would actually be pretty fucking broken. But I'm like, alas, it's not modern. It was printed in Masquerades. No way that's legal in anywhere unless vintage. So I'm like, well, oh well. I guess I can't use that in my modern deck. Then jump forward to 2008. Are we 2018?
Yes, we're 18.
For a second, I was like, 2020? No, that's not right. But anyway, jump forward all the way to now. They just released their core set, and lo and behold, the fucking Scepter's in this set for some reason. So I'm just kind of just sitting there going, oh Jesus, I can make a viable modern deck with the weirdest jank possible. I'm like, I can feel the energy in me.
Rising.
And now I'm just kind of just plotting in my head of like, okay, what would be the most perfect card to go with this card? And what other backups could I use for this deck at the same time? And I'm like, I think I got it. I think I got the deck. I just hope it works out. Although it probably won't be that good, but it'd be very hilarious just to get it to work. Just to see the opponent's face of, wait, are you going infinite right now? Yes. Oh, game 2.
Yep.
And then their stupor of like, I can't kill your creatures because you have none. I can't kill your lands because that doesn't matter. I can't, like, just going through the list of all the things they can't do other than try to blow up my artifacts. I mean, there is cards that do that, but they're so far in between that who plays that? Who fucking plays that? So
if you play red white, you play artifact destruction.
Yeah, well, yeah, that too. That
but
too.
Who plays red white nowadays?
Who
Red white was
plays
only
red white?
red white was viable back when Gate Crash came out.
I mean,
there was actually like good cards for red white.
Yeah, exactly. So it does come down to the point of like, I have my ins and I have my ins in there. Like, no one can predict what I'm gonna do. But once they see my stupid plot, they could probably have some sort of backup to it. But at the same time, it's like I can pull this off. I could pull this off. It could be hilarious. I just can't wait.
Are you done talking about Magic? Can I talk about like how Counter-Strike is slow and I got through the first level of Witcher?
Sure. What do
I
you mean
suck at those games.
I was gonna say
That is all.
I was gonna say, what are you talking about, Witcher?
I played Witcher. It was good.
Oh, that's good.
It was fun. I met Yennefer and she's hot. She isn't.
Yennefer.
I met Yennefer. She is hot. I also realized that she isn't a potato, which is what I wanted.
Really?
I wanted her to be Casca from Berserk.
Is it an anthropomorphized? No, anthropomorphic
Potato?
Potato
No,
with a vagina
No.
and boobs.
No, basically, to explain the reference, Casca is a Berserk character who literally had her brains raped out of her skull.
Basically.
Yeah.
That's actually legitimately like the best way of putting what happened to her, because basically her lover became, or one of her comrades basically became a demon king and then raped her.
Yep. In front of her actual lover.
In front of her actual lover while she was pregnant.
Mm-hmm.
So like we got that double whammy of like fuckery going on there. So yeah. Good times had by all.
Oh yeah.
But no, she's like a sane person, and then she's like She's like, apparently you and Triss make a really good couple, and it's like, oh, yeah, Geralt lost his memory, and then realized that you were his lover, and then she's like all betrayed and stuff like that, and she's like all posh, like I don't want you to sit there and say some things to make me feel better, but apparently you and Triss Merigold are a great couple, and it's like, oh fuck. Like, it's like I literally was sitting there being like, ah, shit.
Yeah. I don't know. I just like I want to play The Witcher, but at the same time I don't want to play The Witcher because like it's got this such mystique behind it now that I don't know if I really want to jump on that.
Yeah.
You'll jump on it. You'll enjoy it.
Oh, I probably will.
Just
Like that's not even a joke. I think I probably just straight up will enjoy like
yeah.
the idea of what is.
I just kind of like the ugly fan. For the most of the art I've seen of The Witcher, I like the ugly fantasy it has. Like
Oh.
you see the witches, they're fucking ugly. You see half of the monsters in that game, they're ugly. And you see the normal people, they're ugly. So it's like, well, at least this is like true to life. Everything's fucking shitty ugly. Except for your main character. He's okay, he's attractive, but at the same time, it's like he's cursed. So it's like, yeah, it's a trade-off.
Yeah. Anyways, I think that's a podcast.
Ugly podcast.
Very ugly Witcher podcast.
All right.
See you guys. Good night. And thank you, listener, for listening to our stupid show. We rambled about shit and punched people in the dick. Have a good night, and you can listen to us every Thursday at theblackmindgames.podbean.com. You can listen to us. Thank you for listening to Black Mind Podcast. You can listen to us every Thursday on blackmindgames.podbean.com. You can also listen to us on YouTube and other podcasting apps. Thank you, Josh and Allan, for joining me, and have a good night. Because if I ever go on vacation, who's going to edit the show?
Yeah, well, shit. It's gonna suck to be those guys. You can say we're taking 2 weeks off the podcast if we have to.
No, I would just say, like, you guys have to edit the show, and here's the thing, and then I would check the feed and listen to my own show.
Yeah. Oh, so I got my wisdom teeth removed, eh?
Good. We should nuke Western society.
Why is that? What happened?
Well, there were some ponies. Some guys decided that it was a good idea in order to dress up like ponies and drag their misses, their whales, we'll call them. It's just disgusting, man. It's just.
What?
We should nuke Western. I'll see if I can find the video, but it was traumatic enough to the point of where I stopped watching it and then immediately wanted to kill myself.
I'm hitting record.
I've already hit record.
Now, please continue about these ponies and why you care.
Ben Shapiro, a pony. There you go. And, yeah. Oh God. Right.
I already know what this is. It's actually kind of disturbing to me.
Disturbing.
Yeah.
Right?
Yep.
Yeah. I just don't.
So, yeah, how's everyone doing?
Good.
Good.
I nuked robots. It was great. I'm playing Planetary Annihilation again. And I finally got through the first level. Anyone else have any topics?
No, I was just gonna ramble
actually, I
tonight
got
with you guys.
one. Hold on. I gotta stop being such a butthole and get to the topic list. The best one I got is I
England made a
played
joke
Dark
of itself.
Souls 1 and 3. Well, not all the way through or anything, just played them for the first time.
I have beaten Dark Souls 1 and 2 and 3. I'm about to do 2 when I get a chance to. I should have done it this weekend, but I wanted to paint and build stuff, so that was actually pretty fun because I'm almost done. I'm almost done my fucking Imperial Knight after like 2 months.
That's good, I guess. So yeah. Anyways, shall we start this show?
Yep, let's start this show.
Okay.